some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere Compact.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. His first NFL coaching job came in 1984 as an assistant with the Bills. In 2025, Pete Carroll becomes the oldest head coach in league history as he takes over the Raiders. ESPN's Chris Canty.
A proven program builder, somebody that can develop a culture and somebody that can develop a defense. Quarterback is still going to be a concern, and that's front and center. We'll see what they do with their top 10 pick in the NFL draft. But overall, I think this is a solid hire by the Las Vegas Raiders. Tom Brady's got this thing started the right way.
Chris Canty on Unsportsmanlike. Carroll will be 74 years old in September. Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts says he'll probably wear a brace on his injured left knee for Sunday's NFC title game against the Commanders. Hurts got shaken up against the Rams. A jury in Massachusetts today acquits Patriot safety Jabril Peppers in his assault and battery trial. A woman had accused Peppers of choking her and slamming her against a wall.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty. Coming up Monday, we've got conference championship games and the coaching carousel, and I'll react to it all in my Upon Further Review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After Further Review.
Say it one more time.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Theriot in 1 hour from right now, the latest on the Saints coaching search as jobs are getting filled. Who's left for the Hoodats? Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
We are 57 minutes away from tip. LSU, the women against South Carolina. Not going to spend the full opening segment on this. It's, I think, a rare day that we ever open a show talking about basketball, certainly women's basketball. Not to be disparaging, just we talk about what are the big stories here. And when LSU's women play in a big game, it tends to be a big story. And it's kind of odd when you look at Kim Mulkey because she has done everything. She's won 4 national titles. She won a title as a player, as an assistant coach, 4 times as a head coach. She's a gold medalist. She is in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. She's in the Naismith Hall of Fame. She got LSU back to the Final Four and ultimately climbed the mountain, which they had never done before, winning the program's first ever national championship. It is rare that Kim Mulkey in her career, now at this point, 62 years old and been coaching for 40 years, it is rare that Kim Mulkey has an opportunity to do something she has not done. Well, Kim Mulkey, since she has been the coach at LSU, now in her 4th year, has won a national championship, but has yet to beat South Carolina. As a matter of fact, it has been a dozen years of a losing streak for LSU against the Gamecocks. 16 straight. Let that marinate a bit. Now, it got bad under Nikki Fargas, but 16 straight losses to South Carolina. And Kim Mulkey is part of that. Now, her first year, decided underdog, fought really hard, came up short, got blown out her second year. Last year, they lost twice in Baton Rouge and then the SEC tournament championship game. And, great team. Talking about Angel Reese, Flau'jae, even the year before when you talk about the team that won the national championship. But they're going to play here at 4 o'clock, so about 56 minutes they'll tip. And LSU will have an opportunity, yet again, to do something they've been unable to do under Kim Mulkey, which is beat South Carolina. Incidentally, LSU is a 14.5-point underdog in this ballgame. I'm not going to sit here and break down that game. I don't know a lick about South Carolina. I don't know much about LSU. When they play big games, I'll watch, and if y'all are interested, we'll talk about it. But I think this is one of those games where you look and you go, man, has it really been since 2012 the last time that LSU beat South Carolina in women's basketball? We got an opportunity. It's a game that was supposed to be played on Thursday. If there's one benefit to this postponement, it's this. Thursday, primetime, ESPN, College Game Day was supposed to be there. I mean, that would have been a hornet's nest that LSU was walking into. You move it to 4 o'clock on a Friday. Maybe not quite the crowd, the buzz around the game. We'll see. It might be packed. Who knows? But if there is a benefit for that game being postponed, maybe it's that the environment will be probably ratcheted down a bit. I remember, incidentally, it was South Carolina when they came to Baton Rouge for football in 2015. If you remember, that ended up being Steve Spurrier's last game he ever coached. But there was widespread flooding in Columbia, and LSU was supposed to play at South Carolina. They moved that game to Baton Rouge. So they played a South Carolina home game in Tiger Stadium. And, you know, no matter how rabid LSU fans are, you get the schedule, you make plans accordingly. LSU is supposed to play a road game that day, so people make plans around their weekends. And, you know, in a very short period of time, they try to get as many people as they could in Tiger Stadium. I think maybe they ended up with 30, 40,000 people in Tiger Stadium for that game. But it's a far cry from what it would have been if you had known at the start of the season it would have been an LSU home game. So we'll see what this crowd is like. But, man, it's a great opportunity for Kim Mulkey and her squad. They're up against it, 14.5-point underdogs against South Carolina. Tip coming up here in less than an hour. We'll keep an eye on it, let you know how the game is progressing as we move throughout the afternoon. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with a great taste of Bud Light. Of course, you got 2 NFL games this weekend. The winners will meet in Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans coming up in a couple of weeks. If you want to be there, our friends over at Mockler Beverage and Bud Light are trying to help make it happen. Paulie, do me a favor, pull up the graphic if you would. If you haven't seen it yet, you can go to the Mockler Beverage social media, and you can see the QR code on that graphic. Scan that QR code. That's how you can win a pair of tickets to Super Bowl 59, courtesy of Mockler Beverage and Bud Light. It's that easy. Scan that QR code for your chance to win. If you're watching on YouTube or WBTR, you see the QR code right there. If you're not watching, if you're listening, open up any of your social media apps. Go to Mockler Beverage on social media, and you'll see that QR code. Scan for your chance to win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. Theriot is going to be here next hour. We will talk plenty of LSU baseball today. As we lead up to the start of the season, Theriot does his positional preview. So last week we did the infield. This week we'll do the outfield. Next week we'll look at the pitchers. But Jay Johnson had his media day today as LSU's opening practice. They're out at the box practicing right now. They have an inter-squad scrimmage as well out there at the box. And you know, I think there's a ton of storylines about this team, but when you're talking about the returning players, there's probably 2 that stand out. One in the field and one on the mound. The one on the field is Stephen Milam moving positions. The one on the mound, of course, is getting Chase Shores back. Here was Jay Johnson talking about the decision to move Milam to the left side and maybe where he fits better.
Right about the time we decided we were really going to look at that, he went out with an illness, and so we need these 3 weeks to kind of figure that out. The plan, you know, as is to probably split the time between the 2 spots and then figure it out. I think he is a great defensive player, and I think if you played him at shortstop, third base, or obviously second base, he would do a great job. I've gone on record and saying I think he's probably the best defensive infielder that we have, and, you know, you may see us, you know, roll him over to the right side of the bag, you know, when certain hitters are up like we did with Jordan Thompson in 2023.
So that's a huge part of it. You're talking about a guy that was a freshman All-America, played second base for you last year. Braswell, who was your starting shortstop, is back, but you heard Jay say it there. They're going to split these 3 weeks with Milam playing short and third, see where they feel he fits best. But you know, Theriot was here last week and said he really thinks that Braswell's a better third baseman than shortstop, and that Milam, that's probably where he fits best, is at short. So we'll figure it out here over these next 3 weeks and see how it goes. And then obviously, look, Chase Shores, who, when you talk about this guy that's 6'6", throws 100 from the right side, exploded onto the scene as a freshman early in that season, tears his UCL, Tommy John, misses all of last season. Had the Tigers advanced to the Super Regional Omaha, chances are we were going to see Chase Shores pitch. But, of course, LSU didn't make it out of regional play. Season ended. Chase Shores didn't pitch. Red shirts the entire season. Now he's back. How does he factor in? Here was Jay Johnson on having Chase Shores back.
Very excited to have him back. The 23-year, I just mentioned you promise adversity. There wasn't a ton of adversity in that. Him going down, was a thunderbolt there, but it really impacted last year. It really impacted last year, especially when you look at, say, everything plays out the same. You have Luke Holman, Gage Jump, and Chase Shores. It's a different deal. And so his arm looks great. He's really throwing strikes. Really like where the mindset's at.
One certainly to watch. Now, I know everyone always asks, what's the rotation going to look like? And one thing that's certain is this LSU team has no shortage of arms. That was a problem a year ago. You just heard Jay say it. That was a problem a year ago. This year, there's question marks everywhere. Will Cade Anderson become a front-of-the-rotation guy? He was great in the non-conference a year ago as a freshman, struggled against league opponents. You met Chase Shores. How does he come back off the Tommy John? Anthony Ianson, elite talent, top pitcher in the portal. How does he transition from UC San Diego to the SEC? We could ask the same thing about Zach Cohen, who was awesome at Wofford. How does he transition to the SEC? We can ask those questions. William Schmidt coming in from Catholic High. How does that go, stepping up from high school to the SEC? There's all these questions that, Connor Ware is another one, going from JUCO to this level. So you've got tons of options. You've got tons of talent. Who will it translate to this level, and how easily and quickly and in what roles? That's what's going to be fascinating to watch as they build out this pitching staff. But you've got plenty of toys in the chest to choose from. We'll see how it all plays out. Starting 3 weeks from today, LSU's opener against Purdue Fort Wayne. All right, it's After Further Review. Our Friday shows are brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We'll knock out a quick break. Come back. 2 more NFL head coaching vacancies have now been filled. So that game of musical chairs, the music's slowing down. There's fewer chairs left in the center of the room. So how does all this impact the Saints in their search? We'll discuss as we continue on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics. Check them out, actionindinc.com, Action Industries Incorporated. I want to remind you that at Action Industries, of course, they've been servicing the petrochemical refinery markets since 1982. They also have the Advanced Turnaround Group, which is a totally separate set of resources specifically dedicated to turnaround work. But also, they've got their fabrication shop services. Pipe, structural steel, pressure vessels, which, not everyone does. When it comes to pipe, they fabricate, in separate shops, alloy and carbon steel. The two shops are segregated. They are an ASME certified vessel manufacturer. They have the RS&U stamps. They offer food grade fabrication as well. And sometimes maybe what you need is to supplement your mega projects with skilled labor. They can help there as well. It's Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, 2 more dominoes have fallen in the NFL head coaching carousel, with the Raiders and the Jaguars finding their next head coaches. The splash hire today certainly was Pete Carroll going to the Raiders. We know Pete Carroll's history, of course, early in his career with the Jets and the Patriots, and then landing at USC with that amazing run, finding his way back to the NFL with the Seahawks, winning a Super Bowl, playing for another after a long tenure there. Was let go after last season, out of coaching this year, now back in the game with the Raiders. It is a bit surprising. Pete Carroll at 74 years old, the oldest head coach in NFL history now at this point. But fair to say maybe a youthful 74, a guy that's always had a lot of energy. And, you know, I know we get hyper-focused sometimes on the age of coaches, particularly in the NFL. This was a big deal with the Belichick conversation a year ago because he's 73. And I don't know, man. When are NFL head coaching hires ever thought to be long-term hires? In your head, you may think that's what you hope to achieve, someone that'll be there for 15 years like Sean Payton was in New Orleans, or like what Mike Tomlin has done better part of 2 decades in Pittsburgh, or John Harbaugh in Baltimore. That's just not the reality. I mean, the Raiders hired a coach a year ago that lasted 1 season. So the Saints hired Dennis Allen. He didn't make it through year 3. So on one hand, I look at it and I go, man, yeah, 74 is old. On the other hand, I go, do you really think you're hiring any coach to be there for a decade? It's just not what it is in the NFL. I mean, Andy Reid in Kansas City now is the outlier. Sure, you go keep churning out Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes, you got a job as long as you want it. That just ain't the norm for the 31 other teams in the NFL. So if the Raiders hire Pete Carroll and he establishes a little bit of culture, improves the roster, a guy that's a known culture roster builder that can get you to a more competitive championship level, all right. And then in 3 years, maybe hands it off to somebody else. The other does directly, or indirectly, I should say, impact the Saints. The Jaguars have hired Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen spent this year, what an interesting ride for Liam Cohen, from Kentucky to the Rams, back to Kentucky, then to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as the OC, and then now as the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, it's notable because the Saints are in the same division as the Bucs, and so for the second consecutive year now, the Bucs lose their OC. Dave Canales a year ago becomes the head coach at Carolina. Now Liam Cohen becomes the head coach with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, I guess there's something to be said, man. If you make it to the playoffs and you maximize Baker Mayfield, dog, you're going to be a head coach. So Dave Canales a year ago, and it seemed to work. Bryce Young later in the season was starting to come into his own, looking more like a guy that was worthy of a first-round pick in the last month of the season. We'll see what Liam Cohen can do in Jacksonville. Certainly his task is going to be go maximize Trevor Lawrence. Because not only did they take him number 1 overall, of course, they've already invested in a second contract in Trevor Lawrence. But this is less about Liam Cohen, the result of the Bucs, or what it means for Jacksonville. It's all about how it relates to New Orleans. So the newsworthy item for the Saints here on Friday is that the Saints have now conducted their second in-person interview. Last week, Darren Rizzi had his in-person interview with New Orleans. That was something they were allowed to do because he was already an in-house candidate. So no big deal there with how that played out. So you were able to interview Darren Rizzi in person last week. Now you've interviewed Anthony Weaver, the Dolphins defensive coordinator. Weaver's an interesting guy, of course, who played in the NFL. He's 44 years old. He's been a career assistant, but looking for that first head coaching opportunity now in his mid-40s. Interviewed for a couple of the vacancies a year ago, including Atlanta. So I don't believe Anthony Weaver is going to get the job. I don't think he's a guy at or near the top of the Saints' wish list. What we also know is that Mike Kafka is set to interview this weekend in person. That's the Giants offensive coordinator. And then next week, Mike McCarthy is supposed to interview in person with the New Orleans Saints as well. And if I have one big takeaway from the hires that have already been made, it's that the hires that have been made have allowed the Saints to stay in play with their top targets. Now, the exception, of course, is Aaron Glenn. But, and who knows if the Saints actually coveted Ben Johnson. I would assume they did because everyone did. He was the top guy in this class that everybody wanted, and he landed in Chicago. But, you know, we looked at the hires that had already been made up until this point with Mike Vrabel going to New England. That's probably a guy the Saints wanted to talk to, but he took a better job. We mentioned Ben Johnson, of course, landing at Chicago. And then Aaron Glenn is the other one that the Saints wanted, but who was the Saints' reported top target. He lands in New York with the Jets. Well, after that, you're starting to see all these coaching dominoes fall with the Raiders and the Jaguars now having their coaches. And so you look at New Orleans and you go, all right, well, Dallas still has to hire a coach. But it doesn't seem as though the Saints and the Cowboys are fishing in the same waters. So at this point, while Aaron Glenn might have been your top target, and he took a deal with the Jets, at this point, the Saints kind of have their pick. And I'll reiterate the thing that I think is most important for New Orleans right now, and it is not to rush to a decision. Because whoever you want to hire at this point, you have time. You have time. The league year, look, yes, this coming week is the Senior Bowl. The league year doesn't start until March. The draft isn't until April. I mean, you have time. I'm not saying you're waiting until March to hire a coach. What I am saying is there's no reason to rush a coach to the podium right now. If you want to talk to Joe Brady, but the Bills upset Kansas City this week, you can wait 2 more weeks until Buffalo, plays in the Super Bowl to talk to Joe Brady. Because the reality is, ain't nobody else hiring Mike McCarthy. I don't suspect Mike Kafka or Anthony Weaver are getting hired by the Dallas Cowboys. So when you look at it, you kind of, at this point, have your pick of who's left. In this game of musical chairs, yes, Dallas is out there as well, but you have really your pick of who's out there right now. So the one thing that I really want for New Orleans to do is Take your time. If you want to wait and talk to Cliff Kingsbury, if Washington wins this weekend and goes to the Super Bowl, wait another 2 weeks. There is no reason to rush. You want to hire Darren Rizzi? You can hire Darren Rizzi. Because if you don't, somebody's going to hire him to be a special teams coach. He's going to be fine. You want to hire Mike McCarthy? Great. Wait 2 weeks. Mike McCarthy ain't going nowhere. He's just chilling. But I will say, the thing that I find perhaps the most appealing, and this is something that is starting to resonate a bit more with me. I think what the Raiders did this year, meaning in the past calendar year, is actually something that the Saints could replicate. The Raiders hired Antonio Pierce, and Pierce lasted 1 year. And I'm not saying you hire a coach with the intent of him being a one-year guy. And we all want that answer. But part of the reason the Saints didn't make the cut for their top guy and Aaron Glenn, and part of the reason they never got a glance from Ben Johnson, is the Saints aren't a good job. It's not a good job right now. We've talked about it a ton. No franchise quarterback, aging roster, awful cap situation, all the stuff. Well, Scott Shanley tweeted this on Thursday. And it was a quote tweet of a PFF thing about future salary cap space. And in 2025, as we know, the Saints currently are $52 million over the cap. But as Shanley points out, in 26, you go $60 million under the cap. And in 2027, you go $221 million under the cap. As a lot of the, now look, that's going to change, right? Because you're going to sign free agents. You're going to have to restructure deals this year, which is going to kick money into future years. But the point is, your cap situation 12 months from now and 24 months from now can, if you're responsible, completely shift to where you have money to spend. You can get younger, provided you do well in the draft and you find starting players in the draft. And, of course, the salary cap will continue to rise. So a year from now, you are a much more desirable job than you are today. So maybe there's nothing wrong with retaining Darren Rizzi for a year. Cut Derek Carr, spread that money out over the next 2 years after this one. Bring in an inexpensive veteran, bring in Jacoby Brissett, bring in Jimmy G. Let them battle it out with Rattler and Haener, see how that goes. You're not going to be good anyway. So you take it on the chin, you win 4 or 5 games, you're picking in the top 5 of the draft, and next year when you have a deep quarterback draft class and money to spend in free agency and a top 5 pick, then maybe you go get the guy that is your guy. Now, I know that is counter to the way the Saints have operated. They want tenure and they want stability. That's what they've been for 20 years. But look where it's gotten you. Now, you're in a terrible situation. I think the worst thing the Saints could do is rush a hire and remain all in. The best thing they could do is acknowledge where you are. Instead of trying to fight your way out of this box that you're in, that you're not getting out of. Like you're full on David Blaine, man. You're in a straitjacket with chains and everything, and you're in a box and you don't have a key. Like you're stuck. It's going to suck in 2025. It is going to suck. There is no way out of that. You've got to accept there is no way out of this. Derek Carr isn't all of a sudden going to come back next year and be a Hall of Famer. Cam Jordan ain't going to drink from the fountain of youth. Like, you're not going to be awesome next year. You're not. There's no Jaden Daniels waiting to save you. It's just, that's not there. You're not going from a 4-win team. You draft Jaden Daniels, you're in the conference championship game. It doesn't exist for these Saints. Acknowledge that and play the long game, which you should have done 2 years ago, but you just kept hammering away, trying to dig yourself out of that hole, and all you did was dig deeper. So be patient. Play the long game for the betterment of the franchise. For the love of God, don't rush someone up to a podium because you feel like you have to hurry and make a hire. All you have now is time because you're the only game in town. You and Dallas aren't, who knows what Jerry Jones is going to do. But you and Dallas aren't competing for the same candidates right now. So take your time, interview all your candidates, and make a hire when you're ready. Make the best hire based on what's going to be the best long-term solution for this organization. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. If you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, rent the products that you use to weigh and measure. At Michelli, they're fond of saying, we show the world what measurement can do. With more than 30 offices across 13 different states now. Excuse me. Sorry, had a cough. Michelli.com. And if you are looking for work, maybe even outside of Louisiana, they're hiring in offices all over the U.S. of A. So go to Michelli.com, Michelli, Michelli.com. Hit the careers tab at the top right, and you can see all the different job openings that they have right now and how you can apply to join the Michelli team at any of their amazing locations. You can apply now. There's a big apply now button right there at the top of the page. It'll show you all the different openings that they have. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. ISO 17025 accreditation is available, Michelli.com. Okay, y'all, Theriot's here in 30 minutes from right now. Ryan's letter, kick rocks, all that stuff. We'll talk a ton of baseball as well. Last week when Theriot was here, we looked at the LSU infield. Today, we'll look at the LSU outfield. If you missed last week, of course, you can get it on demand. Just search AFR LSU on YouTube or podcast. If you want our Saints content, just search AFR Saints on YouTube or podcast. You'll get all of our Saints content there. All right, let me knock out a quick break. We'll go around the SEC. LSU football doling out 2026 offers. We'll get to that in just a smidge as well. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Yo, we're heading into the weekend. And when you get to Friday, do you feel like you were just completely spent and you want to go spend the entire weekend relaxing on the couch because you don't have the motivation to get up and go do anything? To get up and go for a run, to get to the gym? If you do get to the gym, do you struggle to find results? Do you find yourself dozing off in the middle of the day? Maybe you don't have the libido that you did. It's a natural part of aging. You didn't do anything wrong. That happens to literally every human. Man, woman, happens to all of us as we age. Our body produces less of the hormones that contribute to how we look and feel. If you want to regain that youthful vibrance, you can. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help. Hormone replacement therapy and ED treatments. If you're struggling with either, a simple test can help you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy or ED treatments. Go to yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly...
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Go around the SEC here in just a quick second. I was looking at Twitter and saw my buddy Jarrett Roser, who's now over at On3 the Bengal Tiger. I was looking at Jarrett's Twitter, and it's just like this continuous stream of him retweeting guys who have been offered by LSU. There's Keyshawn. Whoops. There's Keyshawn Stansel, a defensive end who was offered. Frederick Ards, who was offered, C.J. Bronaugh, who was offered, Xavion Griffin-Haynes. I mean, you can go look at all this on his Twitter if you want. There's a piece from Shea Dixon. JUCO, Jarmine Mitchell, offensive tackle. Anyway, tons of stuff. Go look at Jarrett's Twitter. You can go see all the offers right there. But one that really stands out, it stands out in particular because he's the number one player in the country for 2026, according to On3. A defensive end edge, Zion Ely, has been offered by LSU. This is interesting for a variety of different reasons. Naturally, if you're going to go offer the number one player in the country, that's always going to get a little more attention than any other player, obviously. But Zion Ely, remember, is the number one player in the country. That's according to On3, by the way. On3 has him as the number one player in the country. In the composite, he is the number 3 player nationally, the number 1 edge, and the number 2 player in the state of Maryland. That's because Rivals rates him as the 22nd best player in the country. On3 has him number 1. 247 has him number 2. ESPN has him number 8. And Rivals has him number 22. Like, whatever. Anyway, he's good. Let's put it to you that way. He's a good prospect that everybody wants. He's got 30 offers. Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon. The interesting thing is Zion Ely he's from Maryland, and he's from Baltimore, but he's committed to the University of Maryland. And despite the fact that he committed to Maryland back in December, he's still taking visits. Like he's got a visit to Auburn coming up, for example. And I think this one's interesting because LSU does have this sort of pipeline to Baltimore here of late. So he's 6'3", 220. He's the number 1 edge in the country and all that stuff. But remember, so he goes to St. Francis, which is kind of one of these football factories in Baltimore. LSU a couple of years ago signed Deshaun Womack as a 5-star out of St. Francis in Baltimore. Jordan Tolles, safety they signed a few years ago out of St. Francis in Baltimore. Greg Penn was not from St. Francis. He was from DeMatha, which is another Catholic school in Baltimore. So LSU has had this connection here in the last handful of years to Maryland. And it's interesting because Brian Kelly spent a dozen years at Notre Dame, and Notre Dame has to recruit nationally, but Notre Dame never signed a player out of St. Francis Academy. Never, not only Brian Kelly, ever. But starting in 2019, and there was a really interesting long feature that one of the recruiting services did on Notre Dame trying to build a pipeline to St. Francis in Baltimore because it's become a football factory of sorts. Since 2019, Notre Dame has offered 10 players from St. Francis. So they are trying. Now Marcus Freeman is trying to get into that pipeline. But the point is Brian Kelly was as well. So, and certainly Freeman, when he was the defensive coordinator there under Kelly, was trying as well. All that to say, it's not like there's the kid who's the number one player in the country, the number one edge, and so you're just going to throw your hat in the ring to see if you can make it stick. I mean, everybody's offering him, but you've actually gone into that school in the last handful of years and gotten a couple of players to come here. Now, both Tolles and Womack have transferred out, but you've still been able to go make your successful pitch and get those guys to sign. Obviously, now NIL, revenue share is going to be a huge part of it, so we'll see how that all plays out. But, I do look at a player like this and LSU's opportunity. First of all, the fact that he's committed to Maryland kind of feels to me like when Jamar Chase committed to Kansas. Y'all remember that? Like, did you forget that Jamar Chase? Yeah, that Jamar Chase. Like the best receiver, and the guy who just won the Triple Crown in the NFL. Like that dude was committed to Kansas. And it was interesting, man. Like there were some coaches on Les Miles' staff from LSU, who had LSU ties, who were there in Kansas. They recruited Jamar early in his recruitment. He committed to Kansas. Was on a visit. They went wild. Like 10 dudes all committed to Kansas on one weekend, whatever it was. Jamar was one of them. He ended up flipping to Florida and then flipping to LSU. The rest is history, as they say. But that's kind of what this feels like. Hard to imagine Zion Ely sticking. I don't know anything about him. But it's hard to imagine him sticking with that Maryland commitment just because, man, everybody's going to come after him. Now, maybe Under Armour's got the money they're going to dole out and make that stick, but hard to imagine that happening. Could, but hard to imagine it. And especially when I look at it from LSU's perspective for 2026, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves because you're talking about next year's class. So after this football season, what are going to be the positions of need? Well, I'd say you put a Band-Aid on defensive end or edge, outside linebacker this year, but I'm not so sure that I would call what LSU did in the portal a Band-Aid. I mean, that's like putting up a marble column to hold this thing up, right? You got Patrick Payton from Florida State, the number one defensive player in the portal. You got Jamari Butler, a 6-year dude out of Nebraska. You got Jack Pyburn from Florida, who's been a really great run-stuffing edge, who's trying to become a more effective pass rusher, which is why he's here as well. And that's awesome. That's going to make you immediately better in 2025. The problem is all three of those guys, they're gone after 2025. So those are one-year rent players. That is the definition of the one-year mercenary in the portal. Those three guys you got. So after next season, the only players that, if everything holds, that you'll have coming back, Gabe Relaford will be going into his third year. Kalaj Cobbins will be going into his third year. Dylan Carpenter will be going into his third year. And then, of course, you got Damian Shanklin in this class. Like, that's it as far as defensive ends or, edges. So you got to go in this 2026 class and start to bolster your numbers at edge. And number one player in the country, that position might make a lot of sense. Point is, LSU is going to have a lot to offer to a guy like Zion Ely. I don't know if they'll land him, as we just saw with Bryce Underwood and other top-tier talent. So much of that's going to be a bottom line. Maybe that whole conversation shifts with revenue share. Maybe it's more revenue share and relationships as opposed to NIL as it's become, which is pay for play, highest bidder. A lot of these collectives might be going away. So we'll see. I mean, a year from now, the landscape could have entirely shifted around these recruiting conversations. But LSU has gotten into the mix here for Zion Ely, the number one player in the country for 2026. And there's good reason to go shoot your shot, man. It's a position of need. You've proven you got money to spend and will spend it. You've got a pipeline to that school and that community to getting kids to Baton Rouge here in the last half decade. And you got a pretty good coaching staff on your defensive front as well. So one to keep an eye on is LSU's offered Zion Ely with a host of offers that they doled out here this week as coaches are getting out there and recruiting again as the dead period's lifted. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. 3 weeks from today, y'all. Gentlemen, 3 weeks from today. 3 weeks from today is Valentine's Day. Don't screw it up. If you don't have anything for her yet, you can never go wrong. Like, don't fret. Don't worry about what you're going to get. You can never go wrong with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, whatever it is. Earrings, tennis bracelets, necklaces, pendants, rings, watches, so many options. And if you're not sure what to get, just walk into a Lee Michaels location and let them help you. They're experts, and they're so good at creating that comfort, that buying atmosphere where you don't feel pressured. You're going to make the best decision regardless of what your budget is. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, we got to go quickly, but let's do it. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Shane Beamer got a contract extension and a raise. New deal runs through 2030. It'll bump his salary to more than $8 million annually. Been the coach since December of 2020, and this will be his second extension in just a little over 4 years. They extended him a couple of years ago when they had that strong finish, beat Tennessee and Clemson. But now, after the 6 straight wins before the bowl loss and a 9-4 season, they've extended and given a raise to Shane Beamer as well.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Former Notre Dame guard Sam Pendleton is transferring to Knoxville after entering the portal just 3 days ago. Pendleton started 7 games this year as a redshirt freshman for Notre Dame that got benched. So he entered the portal after the national championship game. Now he ends up in Knoxville. He was a 3-star coming out of high school, the number 141 prospect in the transfer portal.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Linebacker Deontay Lawson gave an injury update after the season-ending leg surgery that he had. The graduate senior linebacker says he will not be available for spring football, won't be available for practice, hopefully until fall camp as he recovers. 5th-year middle linebacker was on the Crimson Drive podcast on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. He suffered that injury in the loss to Oklahoma, that 24-3 loss in Norman. Lawson has started 26 of his 37 career games at Alabama.
The Auburn Tigers.
And Bruce Pearl revealed that Auburn starting center Janai Broome is a game-time decision for Saturday's top 10 showdown against number 6 Tennessee. 6'10", 235-pound Broome. He's missed the past couple of games against State and Georgia after having a really significant ankle injury, but thankfully one that did not require surgery. Broome, despite missing a couple games, still leads Auburn in 5 major statistical categories, including points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and minutes per game. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Our Friday shows are brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. Need a place on Sunday to get by and watch Conference Championship Sunday? You can always do it with a premium cigar, a great cocktail at Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. All right, quick break. We'll wrap up hour number 1. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros next, and then Theriot's here in 15 minutes. It's AFR.
AFR.
The great thaw out has begun after the great freeze, and if you're getting back into your yard, you're uncovering those trees and plants and flowers and flower beds and patio pots and everything, and you might have some stuff that's a little frostbitten and looking like it might be in rough shape. Our friends over at Clegg's Nursery can help. They are reopened. All the locations are reopened. They're back to regular hours now, and as they continue their thaw out as well, they can help you out. Listen, they have some. I always encourage you to do this. Like, go follow them on Facebook. Like, there's a post an hour ago identifying cold weather damage to plants. Like, there, right there's a picture of banana plants that had some really tough go at it because of this freeze. They give you great insight into how to manage and care for those plants. If you need help, you can trust the horticulturists over at Clegg's. They'll help you through it all. So buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville. Where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Wrapping up hour number 1, Theriot's here in 10 minutes. I'll take a sip of my delicious Evermore while Muso does Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Well, Alex Bregman's free agency continues to continues to twist and turn. The latest report comes from Ari Alexander, part of KPRC2 in Houston, that sources...
Be Jesse and Ari.
This again? We're going to go there again? Bang, bang?
Something like a Ferrari.
Yeah, there it is.
Bang, bang into the front.
He's reporting through sources that the Astros are, quote, keeping the door open, and so is Bregman.
Ooh.
This would be interesting because, of course, they went out and made some moves on the infield.
Yeah, they did.
What the word is, and for what it's worth, Bob Nightingale has also now reported this as well. Bregman would go back to third. Christian Walker, who they signed, would go to the bench. Isaac Paredes, who they traded for, would go to second base. And Jose Altuve would go to left field. Is kind of what they're looking at here. But
would he be the shortest left fielder of all time?
Probably, and it would also look really funny seeing him play up against the Crawford box and then the Green Monster when they head up to Fenway. That'd be entertaining.
Although those structures make anyone look small.
That's true. That is true. But when you're already small, that's tough. Look, we'll keep you updated. Apparently the Tigers are still very much in this as well, along with the Blue Jays and some others. It feels like every day.
Why don't we just ask Terry?
Yeah, we can do that the next
time.
We can
He'll
do
be here
that
in 5 minutes.
That's the latest there. Oh, and by the way, five former Tigers still alive for a berth in the Super Bowl. That's Tigers in the pros.
That's it? That's all you got?
Yeah, that's all we had today. G League is sparse, brother. I have not nailed down the schedule for the international basketball leagues yet. They seem to just not really actually have something set.
Muse.
And
nailing it in on a Friday.
No.
I could tell when you were dragging out that Bregman story like a minute and a half. I'm like, he ain't got nothing else.
Well, the only player who played in the NBA last night was Duop Reith, and that didn't go particularly well.
How'd it go?
He played 2 minutes.
Why do you hate Big Wop?
I don't hate Big Wop.
Sounds like
he just isn't playing very much.
about Curtis Thompson?
He's not playing this week in
How
the
do you know?
Farmers because I actually watched the first round of the Farmers on Wednesday when I was home.
How do you know he's not playing somewhere else?
You
didn't check, did you?
I didn't.
See?
I got to get back into golf mode with it.
You hate Curtis Thompson?
Yeah, I don't hate Curtis Thompson.
How's Jimmy's consensus picks doing so far? There were 2 on there.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Way to go! Why? I need you to lock in.
I didn't see his consensus
Muse.
picks.
I mean,
it was a rough night for Otter last night. And Colucci.
Lock in. Lock in, Muse. Theriot next, AFR.
AFR.
We are brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Look, we're at the end of the month. Hard to believe. We're already at the end of January. It's January 24th today. The end of the month is always the best time to buy a new vehicle. Got to move inventory by the end of the month. This is the great time to get into South Point Volkswagen. I've told you before, if you've never thought about a Volkswagen, just put Volkswagen on your list, shop online, and then go test drive them. Look, I mean, the average car buyer now visits 1.2 dealerships before making a purchase. In the olden days, that number was 3.5. You'd spend all day Saturday going to all the different dealerships. You'd haggle. Nobody does it anymore. You go to the website, you look at the inventory, you work out your financing. It's all right there for you. When you have the vehicle, then go test drive it. They're right there for you. Airline just north of Highland or online at southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction?
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Our Adam Schefter reports Pete Carroll is the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. ESPN's Mina Kimes.
What he did in Seattle over the course of many years bodes well for this hire, starting, of course, with the leadership aspect. All those things that go into running an entire organization, being sort of the CEO of the franchise. Pete Carroll is a proven commodity. Players love him. He's a culture guy. He's written books on leadership.
Mina Kimes, Carroll's previous NFL head coaching stops, the Jets, the Patriots, and the Seahawks, where he won a Super Bowl title. Carroll also coached USC to the national championship in 2004. ESPN's DJ Biename reports the Texans today fire offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick after 2 years on the job. 2 other Houston assistants also let go. ESPN's Pete Thamel reports Ohio State running back Quinshon Judkins will enter the NFL draft. ESPN's Mel Kiper Jr. rates Judkins the 5th best running back in the draft. Notre Dame safety Xavier Watts will also enter the draft.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Kennedy. Coming up Monday, we've got conference championship games and the coaching carousel, and I'll react to it all in my Upon Further Review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right.
It's that Louisiana boy, yeah, they call him the Riot. Born and raised in the swamps, on the fight like a tiger. He going beast mode, baby, he a beast though. What you think he supposed to do? You picture better reload. Get the boy.
After further review, the Riot Radio Hour with Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot, presented by Alpha Customs. Alpha Customs, Prairieville and Lafayette, and online at alphacustoms.net.
Well, how's your week going?
Week was good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, but I'm full of good ideas.
Here comes Theriot. The throw, not in time. Scudero delivers and the Giants lead 4-3 in the 10th.
The wave pool, although probably full of bacteria, flesh-eating parasites, and the occasional turd, provides endless hours of fun. It's not cool to have a 30A sticker on the back of your grocery go-getter. Big fan of the truck.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt. Shut up, cat! Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Yeah, brah.
Go Tigers. Go Tigers. Here we go.
Oh, we on?
Come on, Kim.
Oh,
Come on, Kim.
They do have a good atmosphere there. I was really worried about that. Or actually, I was thinking that maybe it would be a little muted. LSU is playing South Carolina. 2-0. Let's go, Tigers. Here we go. Woo! Layup drill has started. Woo! Layup drill. Let's go. Anyway, LSU up 2-0 early on South Carolina. Like literally first possession of the game. But I thought that maybe because that game got moved from yesterday, prime time, game day, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Look, it's like when Jay does this thing where he plays Friday baseball games at the box at 2 o'clock. Well, guess what? It's 2 o'clock on Friday. It ain't going to be the same as 6:30 on a Friday when people are off of work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it shouldn't be.
It's not, because people are going to be in their cars and at home listening to and watching after further review instead of going to the baseball game. You know, it's his problem, you know?
That's true. Oh. This is going to be hard for me.
Do I need to turn it off?
But I'm going to no, because I want to watch it. But this is going to be.
I need you to lock in.
I'll do better. I
need you to lock in.
To lock in. Let me say this though about those matinee, day game, middle of the week type things. Wrigley Field, little history lesson.
Sure.
Couldn't have lights because of the neighborhood. It is plopped in the middle of a neighborhood, a really nice neighborhood, and you know, of course, they don't want the lights all the time. Anyway, last team MLB to have lights, so we played all day games pretty much.
Yeah.
And then
it was 88. Is that right? When 88?
They first got lights.
I had a baseball card
for the first.
You know,
commemorative.
Do you remember that
I had
card?
that
I think it was Score. Do you remember the brand Score?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah,
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
But then they started to implement more night games. Anyway, but they still play a ton of like 1:20 start, 1:20 start Tuesday, and then a 2:20 Wednesday. Packed. Like, can't get a seat.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there looking around going, do these people work? Like, what is, like tailgating, whole deal, 1:20 on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah.
Craziest atmosphere in the world. That place is awesome.
Yeah. The thing about the day games at Wrigley, though, it's like, it's such a draw, no matter if you're a Cubs fan or if you're from Chicago or not. So every day at Wrigley, there's somebody there for the first time ever.
That's true.
So, I mean, you got your season ticket holders, no doubt, but my goodness, man, like the Chicago industry, you know, I mean, you talk about people is long lunch, head out to Wrigley, you know what I mean? Take some clients.
Check the game out.
Yeah,
little BD piece.
No doubt.
You're in town for a conference. Let's go check out the Cubbies.
Yeah. A BD piece?
Yeah, business development.
Yeah,
a little BD piece.
Usually people say biz dev.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
Little BD piece.
I was like, you know, it's funny. You know what Drew watches all the time?
I know where you're going with that. Your head is in the gutter. Your mind is in the gutter.
What is it? I'm sorry, my mind's in the gutter?
That's where it went with the BD thing. You immediately thought that I was talking about big, but I wasn't. I was talking about business development. You thought I was thinking big.
So last year, so everybody, by now you probably know, if you don't, that every year I take a week off for Christmas and New Year's. I'm gone for about 2 weeks. That's something I do every year. I've started doing now. That's just like, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. And last year, there was a day where you and I and Drew took my son, and the three of us went to Ruckus, and then we went to your property, where your hunting property.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
And you got a big ATV, and Drew, we called it Ryan's big golf cart.
Ryan's big golf cart.
So Drew loved it. Boy, he was happy going out. I mean, he was just like loving just being by you, and then being on the big golf cart. I mean, whatever. He was having a great time.
He's a nature guy.
Well,
he's a big nature guy.
No, he's not. He was not.
On that day, he was like Daniel Boone.
On that day, he was just excited to see you and to go to Ruckus. But I have a video that I was taking as you were filling your deer feeders, and you were filling it with
BBD.
BBD.
Or
what was it called?
Big Buck. I think it might have been
like Big Buck Dinner or something like that.
Yeah, it was BBD.
And you start, and I'm videoing this because Drew loves to watch videos of you.
We were putting BBD.
And you say, you're going, this is. I was like, what you got there? You're like, this is BBD. Like, deer loves some BBD.
Yep. And
you go, BBD is a buck buffet. So Drew will watch.
That's what it was. Big Buck Buffet.
Well, that would be BBB.
BBD. Yeah, no, it wasn't it. What was the D?
BBD is a buck buffet, is what you say. And he watches it and he says it over. It's like, he'll say, he said, that is Ryan. BBD is a buck buffet. He has no idea what, and I'm like, if only he knew the innuendo, the inappropriate innuendo that you were talking about.
He knows.
Anyhow, I don't think he knows. No, I do not think he knows. So how was your week otherwise?
Interesting.
An interesting week for everybody, wasn't it? I mean, snow everywhere and ice. And
very interesting.
Single degree temperatures? Yeah. How did we do at Paris this week?
Paris did good. We went and checked it out every day, Richard and I. Richard wanted to save everybody. Like, that was his thing. Like, he wanted to be like
very noble.
Yeah. Do you have a snow plow, Ryan? Can we go get he wanted to,
He wanted to salt the roads and
absolutely
salt truck.
Yeah. So anyway, we acted like we were saving people, but we really weren't doing anything.
Oh, we're up 14-9.
Yeah, I know.
Offense is chucking right now.
But yeah, no, it was an interesting week. It was good. I have a problem sitting still. And I can't, like, when I feel cooped up, so my driveway was perfect the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
We worked out. We were able to move around, do some things. So it was good. I did get out, and but it was interesting. My letter is to that. Funny you mentioned that. So it get in there. That's a foul. That's a foul. And one.
No and one. No whistle. Just the bucket.
Okay. Dear Snowpocalypse.
Snowpocalypse.
Mm-hmm. As everyone knows, we just had a once-in-a-lifetime, and I do believe it was. I don't think we'll ever see that again here, probably.
I was since the 1800s, wasn't it? Since the last
1859 or something
yeah,
like that.
it's been 100 years.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to live another 100. You could.
Maybe. I'm trying to. We just had a once-in-a-lifetime winter weather event down here, South Louisiana. The roads had plenty of snow on them all day. On day one, it was basically snow. And then day two, the snow began to melt a little bit as the temperature rose. And then it got real dangerous because the roads would freeze. So that's when you got the ice. When it was just snow, it wasn't too bad.
Still hard to drive on snow.
It's hard to drive on, so it's really hard to drive on ice.
Yeah.
An obviously dangerous situation in any area. But, with Louisiana giving you morons sit at home and get hammered and drink all day whenever things like this happen, then decide to go out and drive your cars or your ATVs around town, it was an extremely dangerous
that's true.
situation. Okay?
Who would do that?
Apparently everybody on social media. If you want to look at some snow, this is real easy because that's when we want to go look at the snow.
Mm-hmm.
You just Google beautiful snow pictures and you'll get plenty of nice things to look at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how much snow falls at Sharp Road Park or the fairgrounds at Airline. Both of those places are still a dump. So you don't need to get in your car and drive to Sharp Road Park and look at the snow sitting on the softball field.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's white now.
Yeah, but it's a big wide open space. If you want to go play in the snow, it's more space to go play in the snow.
The amount of videos on social media with people doing donuts in their everyday cars is just stupid. Saw that?
Didn't see that.
Grown folks driving four-wheelers, pulling kids on inner tubes up and down the road.
Happened in my neighborhood. Those mini plastic pools?
Yep.
Somebody had his kid in a plastic pool. He hooked something to his golf cart, was pulling him down the street.
Real safe.
And at one point, I hear the kid starting to I'm like, yeah, because there's nothing between his ass and the asphalt, except a quarter-inch piece of plastic. And he's going 20 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that is hurting.
Yeah.
What did you think was going to happen, guy?
Yeah, and getting impaled by a stick that's hiding underneath a blanket of fresh powder isn't something that sounds very fun to me. Not much of a surprise, as people down here just don't know how to act sometimes. That's what we do, things like that. I'm talking about the same folks who decide to ride out a Category 5 hurricane. It's the same ones. Or the ones who take to the streets in john boats and canoes during floods for fun.
Yeah. What's a john boat?
Just like a little small boat.
Got it.
Yeah. Look, when I was a kid, I do remember a freeze. And in Broadmoor, the subdivision took it pretty hard. Pipes burst and all that stuff. People were out without power. It was a terrible event. All the neighborhood kids. Now, we were kids at this point, but we decided it would be fun to go and ice skate in the ditch.
Oh. How'd you have ice skates?
We didn't.
Yeah.
But we had our shoes on. But we were skating, Yeah. Ice skating turned into hockey, of course. And then hockey turns into fights because fighting is legal in hockey.
In the ditch.
In the ditch.
Ditches aren't very wide.
No, it was interesting.
Oh, man.
And I'm sure there's similar stories from this past freeze. But the major difference is it was kids doing it, not grown folks acting like kids.
Yeah.
We've talked about how bad drivers are here in South Louisiana plenty in this segment, but the past few days have taken that to a whole nother level. You had plenty of idiots speeding over ice patches only to end up spun out in the ditch.
Yep.
Then you had the grandma that drove 2 miles an hour on a perfectly fine road. If you don't experience road rage at the moment, but would like to give it a try, next time, I'd like you to go take a little drive during one of these events. You'll be amazed how clueless people are. We're not able to adjust, and that's the problem here. Anytime there's a variable thrown into the traffic scenario, we can't make the adjustment. All in all, it was a fun few days, and I hope it happens again. Sincerely, Ryan.
All right. I hope it happens again in places far away from here and people that want to get their ass on a plane and go fly to see it. I don't need it here.
Or that.
Yeah. All right, it's AFR.
After further review.
Great news.
Okay.
All the Rouse's locations are back open.
Rouse's was open, though, a lot.
They were open yesterday.
Yeah.
There was the Long Farm location in Baton Rouge was open yesterday earlier in the day. Erica went by, though, and she said the line was a bajillion people long. I mean, I get it. They were like the only one open, and people needed stuff, but Rouse's is here. So they are open. They're stocked up. Again, all the locations. They're giving a big shout-out to all their employees as well. All the great folks over at Rouse's who have gotten everything back open and making sure that everybody gets everything they need. You need to go make groceries for your mom and them?
Yeah.
You go do it over at Rouse's. They're open. They're stocked. They got everything ready to roll. So big shout-out to all the employees at the 70-some-odd Rouse's locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach and points in between, keeping those shelves stocked and making sure everybody has what they need after Snowmageddon, as a lot of people are calling it.
That one.
Snowmageddon. Rouse's. This feels like home.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, we need your help. Like, for real need your help. I need a favor. So Mr. The Ride and I, as you all well know, are partners in Parish Construction and Roofing. Shout out. And The Advocate right now is running their Best of Baton Rouge contest.
We're the best.
I mean, I believe so. We do a lot, I think, for people. Anyway,
we did something for Aunt Nancy yesterday.
How'd it go?
Went great.
It's my godparents. My Aunt Nancy called me 2 days ago. It was like, we had a pipe burst in the garage. Can Paris help? I was like, yeah, of course.
Made it happen.
So, shout out Kenny and Nancy Mumford, my godparents. Nanny and Pyran. She's in my phone as godmother. And he's in my phone as Big K. Everybody calls him Big K.
Big K.
Anyway, so Best of Baton Rouge, the voting ends in 40 minutes. So if you're watching, listening, it's 4:20 Central Time. It's Muse's favorite time of day. So Muse is a little distracted. He's not going to go vote because he's
edible life.
He's busy. But I think Theriot would really appreciate it.
He would.
I would appreciate it if you would go vote for Parrish for the best roofing company in the Best of Baton Rouge.
How do you do that?
So the website is votebatonrouge.com, votebatonrouge.com. I'm sorry, votebestofbatonrouge.com. My apologies. And if you scroll down, you'll see you go to Home and Garden, and then you click Roofing Company, and then you just go select Parrish Construction and Roofing, and then review and cast my ballot, and you're done. Would greatly appreciate it if you would go do that right now.
Bestofbatonrouge.com.
No. The website, I'm looking at right here, is Paulie's got a problem over there, bro. Get you a cough drop, dog. VoteBatonRouge.com is the website.
VoteBatonRouge.com.
I'm looking at it right here. It's VoteBatonRouge.com.
Okay.
Go to VoteBatonRouge.com. Please. I would greatly appreciate it. Voting ends in 39 minutes. VoteBatonRouge.com. VoteBatonRouge.com. Muse, maybe you can drop the link in the YouTube chat. I'd appreciate it.
Could you do that, Muse?
That'd be awesome.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks, Muse.
Paul has to pin it, but yeah, we'll get that done.
Paul, can you help?
VoteBatonRouge.com. VoteBatonRouge.com. I wish there was a way we could just put a link that's just straight to the to that page, but you can't.
Then you got to go to Home and Garden.
So go VoteBatonRouge.com.
Right.
Home and Garden. Roofing Company. Select Parrish. You don't have to punch in an email address.
Nope.
You can vote more than once. If you voted previously, you can vote again. You can only vote once a day.
Yeah.
But you can vote again. And you don't have to live in Baton Rouge, obviously. So we'd greatly appreciate if you vote for Parrish Construction and Roofing. Again, go to votebatonrouge.com, Home and Garden, Roofing Company, Parrish Construction and Roofing.
Please.
If we win, I hope we get like a little sign in the yard. And if we win, we'll dedicate it to the AFR listeners. I don't know what we could do. I'll do something. Last time we won something, we did something like that. You shaved my head. I don't think that'll do any good this time.
I mean, if we win, maybe we give away a free something to somebody that voted. We could just do the randomizer.
Give away this Parrish coffee mug.
And this Chris's hat that I got on my head.
Yeah. Some shoes from Ruckus.
We'll give away a pair of shoes from Ruckus to a random voter.
We don't know who voted.
To a listener that calls if we win. We'll give away some Ruckus shoes. You know what? Let's just do that anyway.
I like it.
Okay, we'll give away a pair of shoes of Ruckus.
VoteBatonRouge.com. VoteBatonRouge.com.
Honor system.
And if you don't vote for Parrish Construction and Roofing and the best of Baton Rouge at votebatonrouge.com, you can kick rocks.
It's time to kick rocks with Ryan Theriot.
Kick rocks.
Presented by Ruckus. Kick rocks with shoes from Ruckus. Jones Creek Road in Baton Rouge, or go to ruckus103.com.
Tom Brady can kick rocks. That's a standing kick rocks, but this one's
a perpetual kick rock.
Kick rocks.
Did you prepare?
Yeah. Okay, you can kick rocks for being a middle midget.
Kick rocks.
Costing your team 4 points.
Then you can kick a whole bag of rocks for that.
Get on down the road and kick rocks.
I'm so sick and tired of talking about these idiots. Stupid idiots. And if you're one of them, you're a stupid idiot.
Unless if you vote for Parrish Construction and Roofing and the best of Baton Rouge when you go to Home and Garden Roofing Company, Parrish Construction and Roofing, then I love you.
You're a dumb baseball writer that votes for the Hall of Fame. You're an idiot.
Unless you voted for
I don't want you guys voting for me.
we do. Yeah, we do.
I'd rather lose than have y'all vote for me.
Nah.
The stupidest Hall of Fame voting process in the history of Hall of Fame voting processes happens for Major League Baseball. And if you're that dummy that didn't vote for Ichiro...
Did they find out who it is?
No, but they're gonna. If you're that dummy that didn't vote for Ichiro, you can kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
I played against this guy. I watched him before that. the best to ever pick up a baseball bat and get a base hit. There's others with more hits, Ty Cobb, Pete Rose. There's others with more. They weren't better than this guy. No way. In an era where everybody was on steroids throwing a billion. Everybody.
Billy.
This guy got hits whenever he wanted to. And by the way, during batting practice, he could just hit every one of them out if he felt like it. Amazing. And some stupid Hall of Fame voter decided he wasn't good enough to go in. You can kick rocks.
Get on down the road and kick rocks.
You know what's perplexing about that, too? Like, I get forever and ever these old idiots wouldn't elect players unanimously because it was like, oh, Babe Ruth wasn't unanimous. Nobody gets in unanimously. Well, then Mariano Rivera was elected unanimously. So I thought this was over. Like, I thought this whole thing about, I mean, what's going on? Like, why have we now regressed to where...
We know that he was a Yankee fan. The guy that voted against Ichiro that didn't vote for him because he voted for Mariano Rivera. But Jeter missed it. But Jeter missed it by one.
I'm just ready for whoever that old person is to die, and so they don't have a vote anymore.
I want you to die.
Like, I don't want you to die. I want you to die so you don't have a vote anymore, and so that we can graduate out of this. It's so ridiculous.
It is so ridiculous. I mean, the guy was an absolute wizard, and unbelievable.
Nobody denies that Ichiro is a Hall of Famer. Like nobody denies that. It's just these. Some of these voters, or in this case, voter, singular, has decided to be the gatekeeper. And it's annoying. Like, you want to punch these people in the face. It's just very annoying. And I get very angry, and then I kind of get, when I get angry, then I get like, I want to be violent, and so I want to go punch somebody. So I want to punch that guy in the face.
Patrick Mahomes and his tired flopping, he looks like he plays in the MLS, can kick rocks. This crap's getting out of hand.
Wow.
This crap is getting out of hand. You play a contact sport. Lower your damn shoulder and try to run over somebody, Patrick. Stop faking like they're hitting you late out of bounds or like it's a late hit on the quarterback. It's getting tired. It should be it's embarrassing, actually. I'm embarrassed for you. I think you're a hell of a player. There was one play that he made last week, falling down and threw a dot for a touchdown that was amazing. And it makes me go, man, this is the greatest to ever do it. And then you flop like LeBron or Messi, like a soccer player, and then I get pissed at you. I need you to stop doing that.
You know the thing about it, though, with Mahomes with the flops? Like, I
know you want to like it. I know you like the Chiefs.
No, I don't like. No, I don't. No, I don't. Like, it's just... You don't have to, like you just said, put your shoulder down and go through contact. I don't need Patrick Mahomes to go through contact. I just need you not to do that.
Don't do that, bro.
Just run out of bounds. Like, just run out of bounds.
Yeah, it's tired. It's tired. It's weak. Off that. And then the last one I have is the mayor. Mayor of Philadelphia.
I think honorable, right? Don't you call the mayor honorable?
Yeah, I'll call her honorable. The honorable mayor, Cheryl Parker.
Yeah. You want to hear
Philadelphia, yeah.
So this is, what is this, an Eagles rally is what this is? Is that what this is?
And listen, she's a great mayor. She's done some great things, wonderful things in that city.
So you know what they do, the Eagles chant at the end of the Fly, Eagles, Fly.
Mm-hmm.
Fly, Eagles, fly, wait, victory, whatever it is. They spell out Eagles. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles. That's how they end their chant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is how it went. What's her name?
Cheryl Parker. Mayor Cheryl Parker.
There you go.
E-L-G-S-E-S, Eagles!
Do it again.
Let's go, Birds! E-L-G-S-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, Birds!
E-L-G-S-E-S. El-Guess-S. The El-Guess-S.
Man, bless her heart.
I know.
It was cold out. Maybe she just messed up. I mean, the cold weather does that to people sometimes.
It's like she knew instantly, too.
Yeah.
Like, you could see her face, like, as she turns away from the light, she's like, oh, no.
Oh,
she's like,
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm going to be memed.
Yeah.
This is, it's not good.
She had an interview a couple days, maybe the following day, something similar, and she made a good joke. She's actually a wonderful mayor and done some great things in that city and played it off well. So but
you
anyway.
gotta own it.
Yeah,
you just have to own it and let yourself and just make fun of yourself, own it, just go through it. And she did misspell Eagles.
Yeah.
We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. 8 locations now in all, the Williamson Eye Center, all over Greater Baton Rouge.
Wow.
Eye care, eyewear, eye surgery. So if you need the eye exam, Williamson Eye Center.
Mm-hmm.
If you wear contacts or glasses, you want to buy your contacts or glasses, Williamson Eye Center.
Okay.
Or if you want to ditch them forever, contacts, glasses, readers.
Who doesn't want to do that?
Well, no, I got Tilly over at Paris Construction Roofing. I was going to Richard's office. He's got 8 pair of readers.
He leads the league in readers.
Oh, bro.
No doubt.
I mean, it's like and then he's got his blue light glasses. There's apparently I don't even know where these came from.
Yeah.
Somebody left them. I maybe got them. He's got one like on his collar,
and
one on his head.
Yep.
I mean, it's just like he's always got them somewhere within reach. I'm like, you know, it would be easier to just see. You know what I mean? That'd be easier. You know who makes that happen? The Williamson Eye Center.
Mm-hmm.
Go see Dr. Blake Williamson. 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. He leads the league.
He really does. He does.
They're everywhere, man.
Yeah.
When last week I was in his office, and I think I was counting. I was like, how many? I counted 8 pair of readers on his person or his desk.
Yeah.
8. I'm like, what are you doing with all like, Tilly, what are you doing with all of these, man?
That's his swag.
My God. It's his swag.
It's his reader swag.
No, today he had some swag today. He was wearing his West Point class of 2025 jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Matthew Tilly, about to graduate from West Point, which is freaking phenomenal. All right, let's not got a break. We'll come back. LSU baseball open practice day. In 30 minutes, Theriot's going to run through the outfield preview.
Yep.
But when we come back, let's hear a little what Jay Johnson had to say before the Tigers hit the field for the first time here in preseason practice. It's AFR.
After further review.
Okay, we're thawing out. It's 52 degrees right now. If your HVAC unit, the compressor outside had snow and ice on it, maybe you're having issues, maybe your heater's not keeping up, maybe through all of this you realize you got issues with your heater. Call our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air. Remember, nights, holidays, weekends, they'll always come out. They'll never charge you extra to come out. So we're heading into the weekend. You got an issue. You're thinking, do I really have to wait till Monday to get someone out? No, you don't. Call River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001, 752-0001. When you call, you're not going to get an answering service. You're going to get a living, breathing human that will answer the phone, and they will get you scheduled for a technician to come to your house. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Go read the reviews. They got more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews than the next closest competitor. Why? Because they're the best. They've been around for 40 years. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Jay Johnson met with reporters as LSU at the practice field for the first time. One of the most gigantic questions that they got to answer, undeniably, is what happens behind the plate. I think my pen burst. Look.
It happens. It's part of it.
Anyway, got blue ink all over my hand now. Alex Milazzo, defensive ace, is gone. Hayden Travinsky, a guy that gave you great power in your lineup, catching DH, is gone. So you got some new guys, some new blood behind the plate. Here was Jay Johnson, what he's looking for behind the dish.
I have a lot of confidence in that group, and it's probably something that will be sorted out. You know, when you ask what I'm looking for is like, what is winning in baseball? It's scoring runs and it's preventing runs. So what's our best path to having the right guy in the at-bats when the catcher comes up to help us score more runs and then obviously prevent runs? And at that position, really important, because other than the balls put in play, they touch the ball every single pitch. The game's built around strikes and balls. Well, the catcher has a lot of say in that. So it's about who's going to help us on those things.
One of the things we talked a lot about with Milazzo during his time here was his ability as a catcher to receive the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Very still behind the plate. I know I've asked you this and you've guesstimated. A catcher who's very good at that skill, how many pitches, how many strikes does a catcher steal in a game?
Ooh, man. I mean, it's hard to say. It really is. I mean, in the college game, a lot. Like I would say double digits, 10-ish. Like somebody that's really good at it. 10
pitches a game.
Yeah.
10 strikes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, just conceptualize that. I mean, you're talking about the ability to cut down on a pitch count, to get out of an inning by framing a pitch on the corner, by keeping your body still, the ability to, it's one of the things where I think a lot of people, when we would talk about the catching issue or battles, right, how the time would be split up, people would look at the caught stealing number or batting average, because it's just the easiest thing to look at.
Sure.
What we're talking about here is something that's often lost. Like it's not something that's really measurable, but it matters tremendously.
And that was Jay's long-winded way of saying that all of those things that you just mentioned, plus some intangibles, the comfort level that the pitcher has with the guy that's behind the dish. You looked at games last year when LSU played and their record when Milazzo was catching versus when he wasn't, and it was pretty obvious. And it's not like, they're winning those games because he's hitting homers. The pitchers wanted to throw to him. They were comfortable throwing the ball to him. Hell, Greg Maddux, arguably the greatest pitcher to ever step on the mound, brought Paul Bacco to every team that he ever played on. I mean, everywhere Maddux was, Bacco was there because he felt comfortable and he told good jokes and was funny and great in the clubhouse. And just shout out to my guy. I played with him in Chicago. But he felt comfortable with Paul Bacco putting his fingers down there and that he was going to catch his balls properly in his glove, the baseballs that he threw.
Yep, got it.
Yep. So that was Jay's long-winded way of saying we're going to see who these guys like. What you've got a junior college guy in Priester that's caught a ton of innings, some high-powered arms, and then you've got the 5-star freshman. I mean, I think time will tell this position will develop, but I've got the luxury of playing against the two of the best catchers to ever do this thing the last 20 or 30 years in Yadier Molina and Buster Posey. And I'll say this, the one thing that they had in common, although very different players, I mean very different, but when they were behind the dish with the gear on, the pitchers felt like they could execute and throw any pitch that they had in their arsenal. They felt confident in that guy. So this is an important position to get, man. I hate platooning guys in and out. I hate that.
Okay.
I need somebody back there when they need a blow and you need to give them some time to catch their breath for a game. That's cool. But, I don't like you're going to catch two, you're going to catch one thing. I think you
you mean on I'm sorry, do you mean on a weekend?
Yeah, you find the guy, and then he's your guy. I mean, and everybody can get used to him. And that's,
what about a defensive replacement? Because that's something that they looked at last year times was, say, Travinsky would start and then Milazzo would be like a late-inning defensive replacement.
I mean, I don't like it.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't. That's not ideal. If you have to do that, you have to do that. Our national championship team in 2000, we did that.
With Jorgensen.
Yeah, I mean, and Ryan Jorgensen played in the major leagues. He wasn't our starting catcher.
And Cressy won the Johnny Bench Award as the best catcher in college baseball, in large part due to his bat.
That's right. That's right. Two different players, and Brad was a hell of a catcher.
Yeah, Brad was great. But
Ryan
Jorgensen was a big leaguer.
Was elite. He's a major leaguer. Yeah. And so I hope one of those guys, and I think it's going to eventually be the freshman toward the middle to the end of the year, will end up being the guy. Priester's a hell of a player with some big pop in his bat, and he's got a cannon.
Yeah.
So, like Jay said, he feels really good about the position because you got two guys that can play. But the platoon thing going in and out, to me, is not ideal.
Ideally, what happens is over these next 3 weeks or in the first month of the season, someone establishes himself to where you can't justify taking them out of the lineup. That's what happened with Milam last year.
Yeah.
Milam wasn't starting opening day, but by the time you got through the opening weekend, you're like you got to see more of that kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then it came to the point where, okay, he's got to be in the lineup every day.
That's right.
And that may happen here. Muse, can you play number 8, please? This was, the freshman that Ryan's talking about is Cade Arambidi. I remember talking to a mutual friend of ours who's a longtime scout about Arambidi. And I'm giving you the general synopsis here, which was that's a dude that should have signed straight out of high school, but had a little issue with the bat his senior year, probably brought on a little by injury, and it just caused him to fall on some teams' boards during his senior year. And he was committed to his number, didn't come off of it, and so he ends up at LSU. So you have a player that, a year ago at this time, everyone thought, no doubt, that kid's signing a pro contract.
Right.
And now you got him on campus. But how quickly can you get him ready to roll in SEC play? Here was Jay on Arambidi.
Cade Arambidi, really pleased to get Cade here. And he had an outstanding fall. I mean, I think he hit over 360 or right at 360. The bats were way more professional than you would anticipate for somebody that hasn't had exposure to this level of play. He's obviously got power. Again, the arm strength really jumps off the page at you. The 2 outside games against Samford and Louisiana Lafayette, this is always my sign of a good catcher, is you don't even know or remember who's playing back there. That's how it felt. He was very in control of the game. And, against Coach Deggs and Louisiana Lafayette, that's the most chaotic offense, and I mean that as a compliment, in college baseball. And he did a great job there. So he's well out ahead of maybe where you would think he would be.
That was good.
I mean, that's if you've got if you have the talent, right, the tools that scouts are looking for, and then you marry it with the ability to be still in that moment. Now we'll see when you're at the box with 10,000 people and the lights are on, and then everything ratchets up a little bit. But I mean, and then you got Priester sitting there who who's a 20-homer guy.
Absolutely.
Potentially.
Yes.
If he's in the everyday lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, you got options. The fascinating thing is there's no shortage of talent or options on this team. How it all materializes and manifests, I think will be fascinating to see. Hey, we're brought to you by First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com. They've been first in agriculture for more than 100 years. Incredible, man. Since 1960. I mean, you're talking about the First World War, Second World War.
Damn.
Economic upticks, downturns, natural disasters. They've seen it all, and they've been here doing one thing for more than 100 years, helping Louisianians buy land. And by the way, it's not just land in Louisiana. They can help you buy land in any of the contiguous 48. So, I mean, you want to buy hunting property in Mississippi, you want to get farmland in central Louisiana, you want to buy a ranch in Montana, First South Farm Credit can help you. Yeah, how about that?
That'd be awesome.
You know who lives in Montana?
Aaron Nola.
Austin
Nola.
I didn't know. I was talking to Austin last night.
So
By the way,
awesome.
FirstSouthLand.com. FirstSouthLand.com. I don't think I talked to Austin. I don't think he and I it's been a few years since we spoke.
I'm jealous of that. I want to go see him.
So last night was Grizzly Greats at Catholic High, and they kind enough to ask me to MC, and so it was Austin and Aaron went in together. The Grizzly Greats ceremony is usually, I know most people don't care, but I do. The ceremony is usually in the summer, but the guys are playing baseball, so they can't be there. So they did a special induction for Austin and Aaron last night. It was awesome. I mean, Bill Franquez came and did the induction for the two of them, which was great. A lot of former LSU Tigers who were also Grizzly Great. Patrick Coogan was there. Luch was there. Dave DeLucci. Chris Demui was there. Great to see a lot of those guys. Guys like Chris Shambra. A lot of guys who played with those guys, played at Catholic and at LSU. But, I got to talk to both guys for a little bit after. But hadn't talked to Austin in a minute, and I didn't realize, man, he's living in Montana. Still playing, man.
He's grinding. What a hell of a career.
I think he's in year 14 now.
A hell of a career. Yep.
I believe he's, if I'm not mistaken, I think I looked it up, he's in the Rockies organization right now. So go try to make the team. Be in spring training, try to make the team.
So awesome.
Incredible, man.
I mean, great story, family. Both of those guys, Aaron, Austin. I mean, just so proud of them.
Great dudes, yeah. All right. By the way, 10 needs to be retired at LSU.
Yes.
I will bang that drum forever. He's the best pitcher ever at LSU. Listen, talent-wise, I get Ben McDonald and Skeens. I get it. Those are undeniable. The best career at LSU was Aaron Nola, and 10 needs to be up at the box. Like 10 needs to be retired at the box. It's the next one that needs to go. And then whatever you want to do for Bregman. 8 or 30. I don't know. What do you do, 30? Do you do 8? I guess you do 8, but then do you have multiple 8s? I don't know what you do with 8 now.
30. He'd want 30.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think he'd want 30 up there?
Mm-hmm.
Where's he going to sign, by the way? Oh, we got to go. Ask Ryan next.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. Mr. The Riot mentioned it a bit ago. Bunch of big dumb idiots, snow and ice, driving around, causing wrecks. Dude, I was driving down Perkins Road today. There's a van crumpled in a ditch. Like, I hope everybody that was involved in that's okay. But, I mean, when I tell you this van was crumpled, I mean, it's a minivan that was crumpled in a ditch near Segan. All that to say, been in an accident, you've been injured, it's not your fault, you need representation, get Gordon and get it done. Know what your rights are, know what your options are. Don't go it alone thinking, I don't need to call him. I mean, there's a reason why that resource is available and why it's needed. You need representation. And Gordon and his team are awesome, and they're all over the state. GetGordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Wrapping up hour number 2, Friday shows brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. Let's get to Ask Ryan. It's easy. Email us, tweet us, text us in the 225-396-44.
There was snow and ice everywhere, but the coldest I ever played in was in South Bend, Indiana, in the Midwest League. Just absolutely miserable weather, in the teens or whatever it was, single digit. And, the rule is in games like that, you swing at the first pitch. If you take any pitches or if you take a walk, like, guys are really pissed at you. Just get the game over with.
God, South Bend. So bad. Chicago ain't no better, bro. Just on the other side of the lake. I mean, you draw a line straight across from South Bend across the lake at Chicago. I mean, they're parallel with each other. Right,
the difference is in the major leagues, you can go inside and warm up in between innings. In the minor leagues, just wear it.
Yeah,
you just deal with it.
My goodness. All right, SportsCenter's coming up. Get you caught up on national headlines. Hour 3's next. Theriot will preview the LSU outfield. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. You want to yell it?
Shawbills!
Been a minute since you've yelled.
Been a minute.
Yeah, Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, shawbillstire.com. You know what a lot of people learned this week? Trying to drive around with all that snow and ice?
They need new tires?
You darn skippy. So if you need new tires, don't screw it up. Go to Shawbills. Right there. Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. shawbillstire.com. You can shop tires online by year, make, model, body style, price, all that sort of stuff, whatever specifications you're looking for. But you'll get the best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. They guarantee that at Shawbills. As a matter of fact, part of Charlie's doesn't. It's the price match guarantee. Buy tires at Shawbills, find the same tires advertised cheaper somewhere else. They'll refund you 125% of the difference. I mean, they're just going to get you the cheapest price possible on the best tires. So you go to Shawbills. And remember, ask about the Shawbills credit card. It's basically a credit card for your car. You'll get VIP pricing and 6 months no interest. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rolling.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports today Pete Carroll will be the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders.
That will make him the oldest head coach in NFL history next season. He'll be 74. He acts like he's 34 and has the energy of a 34-year-old.
Adam Schefter, Carroll gets a 3-year deal. He's one of only 4 coaches to win both a national championship in college and a Super Bowl. Liam Cohen is the new head coach of the Jaguars. He had been the Buccaneers' offensive coordinator. Bills safety Taylor Rapp is out for Sunday's AFC title game against the Chiefs. Rapp has back and hip injuries. South Carolina football coach Shane Beamer gets a new contract that runs through the 2030 season. Right now on ESPN, women's college basketball today, a game that was postponed earlier in the week at the half. Number 2 South Carolina leads 5th-ranked LSU 33-30. Madison Keys plays for the Australian Open title, 3 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Commercial Insurance. It flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! handle the
Riot Radio Hour.
Let's do that again.
Guess who's back? Back again.
I want some more.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Well, let's start the insanity. Giddy up.
With Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot.
Let me find out you wearing Spanx to hide your gut.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Matthew Alejandro Musso. Hey! And Theriot.
You ain't got 20 in your pocket. Let me find out you putting rims on a rental. Let me find out you got a
Putting the rims on a rental.
Why is this so good? Oh, man. It's so good. All right. Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Oh, I did all that part, didn't I? Anyway, 5 o'clock quitting time, all that stuff. All right. Theriot's here. Each of the 3 weeks leading up to the start of the season, we'll look at a different position group. So this week, as we are 3 weeks out from the opener, we'll take a look at the outfield. Last week was infield. This week, outfield. Next week, we'll look at the pitching staff. Then we'll look at the offense. And then it'll be game day for LSU on Feb 14, Valentine's Day. So we'll take a closer look now at the LSU baseball outfield. Muse, play this one if you would. Jay Johnson said, boy, there are no shortage of numbers in the outfield of players they'd like to take a look at.
I think in the last game that we played against North Carolina last year, Josh was in left, Jake Brown was in center, and Ashton Larson was in right. Those guys are all back, which is great. We obviously added Chris Stanfield from Auburn. We added Derek Curiel, really good freshman player. You're still looking at Ethan Fry, who's finally healthy, which is great. McPaul has played really good, and underrated story. Had a really significant health issue last year that happened during the season, and he was redshirting, and for him to make it back is pretty remarkable, to be honest with you. So Dalton Beck, who will also figure into DH at bats. I have 8 guys we could play right now out there, and I don't know that there would be much drop off.
8. All right, take it away.
You're gonna see, this year something happened that doesn't happen a lot, where guys that have been here for a while, veterans that have had pretty good careers, I think are going to be in a dogfight for playing time. I mean, normally when you put your time in, you got some skins on the wall, and you've put up some decent numbers, you get to a point where you've kind of earned the right to get out there and get some reps. And I do think Ashton Larson and Pearson will get some reps, but I don't think they're going to be starters on this team. And,
okay, wow.
And with the young guys. And then the guys that have been added to the team in the portal have really shown out. Curiel, which Coach just mentioned, and Stanfield in center field, Curiel in the corner, and then Brown, probably in right field is what I would think that the starters would look like. I mean, it's the deepest position group that they have. Jay just mentioned it. We were talking a little bit about guys that really stood out for him, but and they just kept going back to Curiel and saying he's best defender on the team, and the comp that they mentioned, which I thought was really neat because this kid's a hell of a player, was Antoine Duplantis with a little more pop.
By the way, here was Jay Johnson, number 21, Muse, on Curiel's defense.
And on the defensive side, like you mentioned that game, he made a catch in center field. There might not be 5 guys in the country that could have made that play. And then he went over to left field and shifted his hips 3 times and made a play look easy that was not easy. So he falls into that score runs, prevent runs category, and those guys are really valuable.
So it's one of those questions where, are you leaning on a guy like Curiel for his defense, and just sort of sacrificing a bat, or do you think this is a guy as a freshman who can come in and contribute offensively?
I mean, no, he can swing the bat. can swing the bat. But the good news is, I mean, look, totally forgot about Ethan Fry. I mean, this is a dude that's a hell of a player. I mean, when you draw up a Major League Baseball player and what they're supposed to look like, that's what they look like. And so you've got just so much depth, man. He's going to have a hard time making sure everybody gets at bats and can give guys ample opportunity to really get hot. But as we know, and it always happens every year, there's some injuries. Guys get in a slump here or there. I mean, I feel great about the outfield position group.
Fry is interesting because last year, Jay got to a point where he was trying to force at-bats for Ethan Fry. Like, he was trying to get him an opportunity to get going. And there was a game, was it Florida? Yep. There was a game against Florida. He went 2 for 4 in a game against Florida. And after that, I don't know that Ethan Fry got a hit in his next 20 at-bats. I mean, it was a long stretch. He went, 0 for 1, 1 for 2, 0 for 4, 0 for 4, 0 for 3. I mean, it was a struggle for Ethan Fry offensively. Jay kept getting him at-bats and just never got going. Yeah. So that's one of those things I look at and I go, you're right. He looks the part, but man, who are you taking at-bats away from?
Yeah. No, I mean, he just said it. I mean, you've got so many contributors, guys that have experience, guys that have been there before, and then some young guys that they're super, super high on. It's gonna be a strength of this team, which last year I don't think it necessarily was, and you're gonna see some guys, some draft picks out there, future draft picks that like we have had in the past, Jared Mitchells of the world, guys like that.
Why do you think they went and got Chris Stanfield out of the portal? So for those who don't remember, Chris Stanfield played at Auburn. He's coming in as a junior. He hit 276 at Auburn last year, so not a great season offensively. Why do you, when you have this many numbers, why do you go in the portal and get a guy like Stanfield?
I don't know this for sure, but Jay is as hands-on with the offense as any coach in the country. He loves being in the cage. He loves dissecting swings. I mean, it's very rare for your head coach to be hanging out in the batting cage working with guys, and Jay does that. He saw something in Braswell whenever he came in.
Sure, that's a good point.
He made an adjustment there, and we saw him take off. I mean, we saw him turn into a hell of an offensive player. My guess is he sees something in this kid's swing, and he thinks he's an adjustment away from being a major impact player, and he went and got him.
Yeah. That's an interesting comp. I mean, that was sort of the knock on Braswell, right? He really struggled in that second year at South Carolina. Came in and became a pretty big impact guy for LSU.
Swung the bat great last year. And he got better as the year went on, too.
I'm also surprised to hear you say, though, about Pearson and Larson, because Larson was one of those guys who, when the season started, I don't think we were counting on Ashton Larson to make an impact. But again, by the time you got to the end of the season, you couldn't justify not having Larson in the lineup. And then Pearson, it's hard to bet against Pearson, man, because while I'll grant you, like, the measurables aren't the thing you look at and go, well, that's what a big leaguer looks like. You're right. Man, all he's done is in big spots deliver.
Sure. No, he has.
And this program over time has kind of been made by guys like that. So why do you not foresee those two guys being able to maintain their spot?
I loved Larson, his knack for getting on base and just being a disruptor, long at bats, scoring runs. I mean, he's a winner. I mean, the kid is a winner. And as you mentioned with Pearson, if you had to have somebody up at the end of the game to get a big hit or get on base somehow, like he's the dude you want. And don't take this the wrong way, and this isn't a knock on either one of these guys. I mean, I think they're great players, but at some point, would you rather Ryan Theriot play in shortstop, or would you rather Alex Rodriguez play in shortstop? And I'm not saying that that's what we're looking at here, but Ryan's going to get on base, and he's a scrappy hell of a player, and he's a winner, and awesome. We love him, the Riot. But that's A-Rod.
Yeah.
Like, no. He's playing shortstop. That's how, and so I think we have a little bit of that. I'm not saying that's exactly what it is. I'm not saying that there's All-Americans out there that are coming in. I'm just saying when you evaluate in the fall, and look, it's not easy to evaluate in the fall either. A lot changes when the real lights come on. When you evaluate in the fall, you're like, man, like, we got we got a lot of options out here.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where they are. Look, it's not taking anything away from those guys, and I want to see them play, and I want to see them do great, no doubt about it. I mean, I fell in love with Larson last year. That kid he had a hell of a run there at the end. But sometimes it's just, you look around and say, man, these guys can play.
Josh Pearson, to me, I don't know that this is a great. I don't know, like talent-wise, this is a great comp. I'm just going to make the comp because I think situationally it sounds familiar. It's kind of like Beloso going into that last year, like in the championship year. Beloso had kind of been written off because there were higher ceiling guys and all that, and that he would get a midweek at bat and he'd get a pinch hit at bat and he just kept getting knocks.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're looking for some offense, you put him in the lineup in SEC play and he goes 2 for 4 and you're like, oh yeah, that guy can hit at this level. Like he's done it for 4 years. And I look at Pearson and he's a career 256 hitter. Like we talk about it, like he's a career 256 hitter, which is not amazing. Clearly, as a freshman, I'm looking at it, went 299, 226, 244. So I get it. But man, doesn't it just feel like when you need a hit, he's there and he delivers?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, clearly it's baseball and it's a statistical, analytical game, and you can obviously quantify that, and they will. They have as good an analytics department as you find anywhere, right? The resources that they put into it. But guy's got 481 career at-bats. I mean, it's a lot of dude's played a ton, man.
Yes,
it's going to be hard to see, a guy like that not being on the field. But you go upside, you got to give the young guys a shot, the new guys a shot. We'll see how it all plays out. Tigers 3 weeks away from the opener at the box against Purdue Fort Wayne, 2:00 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Thanks a lot for that, Jay.
Yeah, won't be there. I'll be listening, but I won't be there.
You going to be here? It'd be great if you were.
I'll be, about the 5th inning.
At about the 5th inning? Or till about the 5th inning?
What time's the game start?
2. A programming note, we did this last year, probably have a 4-hour AFR that day. Because Hunt, they requested, we come out and do a show out at the box. So we put Hunt out there and put him on from noon to 2, leading up to first pitch, and then I went on at 2, so I did a 4-hour AFR. Just straight through the belly of the beast, right during the game. So if you want to come in that day, that'd be really good. Be great.
I'd love to.
I'd love you to. All right, it's after further review. This is interesting. Old Bill Bender put together a composite top 25. Way too early top 25. So all the major outlets that keep putting out their way too early top 25, he did a composite of those rankings.
Okay.
Talk about that next. Stay far.
AFR.
You want that backyard paradise? That pool, that outdoor kitchen?
I do.
Duplessis Builders can do it. You know what else they can do? Putting greens.
That's the thing. Like, people are doing that now.
I love that. We have a trampoline, actually, which Drew never uses anymore, but it's up on the side in the back of our house, like next to the outdoor kitchen. And all the grass is dead there now because the trampoline's been there for 5 years, however long it's been. And I was like, instead of trying to resod that when we get rid of the trampoline, I think I just want to put a putting green back there.
You should.
Let Duplessis come and do that. If it's your pool, your outdoor kitchen, your spa, you can do it all.
Cold plunge. They could do a cold plunge back there.
Like the sauna, that could be hot or cold.
Do both.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Oh, no. We'll see.
You're rich. Why not?
I'm most definitely not.
Just do both.
It's definitely not rich.
They'll hook you up.
DuplessisBuilders.net. DuplessisBuilders.net.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
How you feeling about LSU football in 2025?
Probably 8.5 wins or so is what I would say.
Thanks for listening to the show.
I'm gonna go 9, but around there.
You think 9-3?
Yeah, 9 wins, maybe 10.
All right, now you're vacillating.
What gets us in the playoffs? Is 9?
Hell no. We just saw that. 10. You got to be 10-2 to have a shot. 10-2 ain't guaranteeing you're in, but 10-2 is the baseline to get you in.
Man,
Tennessee got in at 10-2. Ole Miss 9-3 out.
I think they have to get in the playoffs this year. You're gonna have some rumblings down on the bayou.
You already have some rumblings, because I think here's what I hear the most. And by the way, if this is your point of view, you're right. You wasted a generational offense with Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and Brian Thomas. All on the same offense. And oh, by the way, Will Campbell's about to be a first-round pick. He was on that offense. Emory Jones was on that offense as well. Mason Taylor, who's going to rise up draft boards.
Sure.
Mason Taylor!
He's about to, there's all kinds of predictions that now they allow draft-eligible juniors to go to the Senior Bowl. So Mason Taylor's going to the Senior Bowl. He's going to crush it this week.
Mason Taylor!
And he's going to shoot up draft boards. And people are going to go, that guy was on that offense as well. The more this goes, we're going to look back to 2023. We already are. We get it here. We're going to look back at 2023 going, Matt House's defense was criminal, because that kept you from a national championship. Because nobody was stopping that LSU offense at all. I mean, you needed Dallas Turner to cheap shot, to target Jaden Daniels, launch, thrust, everything, concuss him to knock him out of the game. But I don't think LSU was going to win that game against Bama, but they weren't done scoring. But, I mean, LSU wasn't going to stop Bama either. I mean, if you were just serviceable on defense, you're winning the national championship last year. So I get it. But the other point is, everything this team lacked, you now have. You went into the portal and went ham defensively. Like, inarguably, like, you were coached better defensively in 2024. And so even though your talent wasn't to where you need to be, they performed better than they did in 2023. Now, you got the talent as well. You went and got Patrick Payton and Jamari Butler, and you went and got Mansour Delane and Jack Pyburn. You went and got guys at every level of your defense. DeMarcus Cooley. You got all these guys we've talked about for a month now. You got starter dudes at every level of your defense. And you got Whit Weeks coming back. And you got West Weeks coming back. And you got Devon Keys a year older. And Ashton Stamps, who's a 3-year starter. And Harold Perkins is coming back off injury. And Jacoby and Guillory's coming back for a 6-year. Like, you got dudes now. And with a better coaching staff. That and the leading returning passer in the country, in Garrett Nussmeier, going into his 5th year, second as a starter. And you went and got Nick Anderson, and you went and got Barry and Brown, and you got Trey Green coming back, and you went and got 2 tight ends in the portal, and you went and got 2 starting offensive linemen in the portal. Bro, like, if you ain't in the playoff next year, there is no more defense for Brian Kelly. Like, and I'm the one who's sat here and been like, hey, patience. He deserves all the criticism for the mistakes he made. Hiring Brian Poley, and he hired Matt House. He deserves criticism for those things. How they've managed the portal, like, and it's been a pendulum, right? Like they've been trying to find the sweet spot to balance the scale, and it feels like they're as close to dead center as you could be here, right? If they don't get in a 12-team playoff in 2025, there is no more defense.
Yeah.
Like, that's when you legit start having the conversation like, no, it's him. Like, oh, it's him. Because he's got the staff he wants, and you got the roster now. You don't get there in 2025.
He gone.
Well, I don't think he's gone, because that's the problem you have. Because even after 2025, if you want to fire him, you'd still owe him $50 million, and they ain't spending that. You're stuck. Yeah. Because look, man, they announced the championship game, the future championship game today. So this coming year, the championship game is in Miami.
Okay.
And then for the next season, it's in Vegas. So people are like, man, LSU in Vegas for the title. I'm like, LSU ain't going to be in the national championship game for the 2026 season because you're losing everybody. All these portal guys you just added, they're gone. Nussmeier's gone. Like, 2026 is a reset. 2020, this is your shot. You're going to get it done. Like, this is it. Like, come on. Like, realize, recognize. What Ohio State just did, spending $20 million on a roster and buying themselves a championship, which you can do in this era, that's what LSU just did. Like, that's what they just did. Nussmeier coming back, all the portal guys. Like, you just bought the best roster in college football. Or you're in that conversation. So, who would you rather, Will Howard or Garrett Nussmeier?
Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
The kid who just threw for 4,000 yards on an offense with no running game. Yeah, that guy. I mean, anyway. But yes, projected win totals for LSU is interesting to see it, the over-under at 8.5. Bill Bender over at the Sporting News put together a composite. So he looked at 6 way too early top 25s. 24/7 Action Network, Athlon, The Athletic, actually more than 6. Wow. Bleacher Report, CBS, ESPN, SI, USA Today, Yahoo, and On 3. And they weighted them all, right? So it was like 25 points for a first place vote, 24 points for a second place vote, and so on, right? So it was a point thing. So they put together a composite. Who do you think was the preseason number 1?
Georgia.
Nope. They were number 4.
Oh. Notre Dame.
Nope, they were number 5.
Oregon.
Nope, they were number 6. You're going the other way. You're going 4, 5, 6. I need you to go to the top of the ranking.
LSU.
No, they were number 8.
I don't know who.
Texas, preseason number 1. Playoff team this year. And, of course, Arch Manning, they're turning it over to him. Ohio State, the defending national champ, number 2, although I have serious reservations about Ohio State next year. Because same thing about Ohio State that I'm going to say about Ole Miss this year was my point about Florida State going into last season. And my point that's going to be about LSU next year at this time. You go all in, awesome. But when all those dudes are gone in 1 year, you are going to regress. Like Ole Miss next year is going to regress. Everybody's gone. You lose your veteran quarterback. You lose your veteran receiver, Trey Harris is gone. You lose Walter Nolan and Princely Amonmiel, and like you lose everybody. Like you're not going to be as good. You're just not. Ohio State is not going to be as good. They just bought the best roster. Congrats. Won a national championship. Now everybody's gone. So they're going to regress. Penn State 3. So Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia, as you mentioned, Georgia 4, Notre Dame 5, Oregon 6, Clemson 7, LSU 8, Bama, Tennessee round out the top 10. South Carolina's at 12, if you're wondering, which I am not buying South Carolina. Florida at 15. Ole Miss down at 20. A&M at 23. Missouri at 25. Those are the SEC teams in the composite way too early top 25 for next year. I think LSU's too low. And if you ask me what team ranked in the preseason top 10 in this composite that would finish the season unranked, I will tell you Alabama.
Really?
I mean, look. You can call me whatever name you want, hater, this or that. Let me ask you a question. Everything I've said about Alabama since Nick Saban retired. Is that right?
Yeah, they're bad. Undisciplined. Guys jump ship. You're right.
Jalen Milroe, not good. You lose 3 times as a double-digit favorite. You don't lose the greatest coach ever without missing a beat. You don't turn over half your roster and lose the greatest coach ever without skipping a beat. I couldn't say. There you go. And now you lose 24 guys to the portal. That's not counting your early draft entries and your guys out of eligibility. You got the same bum coach, who, by the way, is losing both his coordinators again this year. So you're turning over both coordinators in Tuscaloosa. I mean, we can look at the schedule, and, I mean, you could look at that and try to determine win-loss record, but they open at Florida State, true road game, at Florida State and Tallahassee. Now, I don't know what Florida State will be next year, right? I mean, they were historically bad this year, a 2-win team. But let's say you get that one, you play ULM. Wisconsin makes the return trip going to Tuscaloosa. But then you got to go to Georgia. I'm putting my money on Georgia there. You get Vandy at home. You got to go to Missouri. They're replacing their quarterback as well. You get Tennessee at home. Still favor Tennessee in that one. You're at South Carolina. We'll see if South Carolina is any good, but South Carolina had Bama on the ropes last year. Should have beat them in Tuscaloosa. You get LSU in Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Eastern Illinois, then at Auburn. I'm telling you, if Alabama wins double-digit games, if Alabama gets to 10-2, throw a ticker tape parade in Tuscaloosa. Clip that, mark it, send it to Marler. If Alabama wins 10 games in 2025, they better throw Kalen DeBoer a ticker tape parade. With that roster, new quarterback, depleted talent, that schedule, 9 is the ceiling for Alabama. 9 is the ceiling for Alabama. And if you ask me to pick a team in that preseason top 10 that finishes unranked, I would pick Alabama to go 8-4 and finish the season unranked.
That'd be awesome.
You know they don't pay you by the word.
I don't know if we're going to win this game, bro.
Oh, that's why you're not paying attention to me. You're watching the women's. How are we doing?
Not doing great right now.
You're watching the women's basketball.
Yeah.
All right, then let's turn this off so you can actually engage in the show we're doing.
We're not doing great. No, you just did a good job. I mean, you know way more about that than I do.
We're down 10.
Yeah, this is an uphill
With
battle.
9 minutes to go. Yeah,
But see, the referees are cheating. They're giving them all the calls right now. Kim's not happy.
Brought to you by Supper Club. Valentine's Day, 3 weeks from today. So they're booked solid for Valentine's Day. You're not getting in. However, the Thursday and Saturday around Valentine's Day, they do still have some seating available. So I would highly recommend, that's going to book up. I actually need to check with Chef Layton to see if they still have any. But I would recommend, if you're thinking about Valentine's Day, please don't wait anymore. Valentine's Day is booked. But the Thursday or the Saturday, you can still try to get in over at Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. Eric and I were there a few weeks ago. Got some great new whiskeys as well. Amazing whiskey selection. They had the Van Winkles. They had the Pappies in as well. If you want to go drink some great whiskey, nice bottle of wine, have some dinner. Incredible atmosphere, ambiance. You can reserve the dining room. You got a special celebration with a bunch of people. Did that for my birthday last year. We got the private dining room. About 15 of us went. It was great. SupperClubBTR.com for your reservation. SupperClubBTR.com. Get your reservation today at Supper Club. All right, we'll get to Ask Ryan in about 15 minutes to wrap up the show. You okay? You a little bummed? I can tell you're a little bummed. I'm sorry, man. But
I just hate South Carolina. I do. I don't like South Carolina at all. I think they're cheating.
Why do you hate them?
I don't know.
Because they're good?
Because they're good. They're the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that about the Kansas City Chiefs, too.
I don't mind the Chiefs.
We'll pick the AFC and NFC championship game winners when we come back, and then we'll get to Ask Ryan as we wrap up the Friday show. Glad you're hanging out with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions. Give my guy Jareth Knockan and the crew over at Glow Resources a call. Yes, they do specialize in skilled blue-collar labor. If you're looking for skilled blue-collar labor, crane operators, pipe fitters, welders, you're looking for all that skilled blue-collar labor, they can help you. And they have a giant net of resources that they will cast not only nationally but internationally. So if you have a job coming up, whether it's in the U.S. or internationally, they can help you find people. They've helped companies in Mississippi find workers in California to do jobs in India. I mean, they're incredible. It's Glow Resources. And when you do roughly 50 interviews a day and you do tens of thousands of interviews over the course of the year, you get pretty good at identifying the questions to ask to the people to find exactly the right people. It's Glow Resources. Check them out online. GLO, glowresources.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Come on, baby. One time for your boy.
The mascot runs into Reggie Bush. 15 years ago today, it was Jim Henderson on the call. Pigs have flown. Hell is frozen over. The New Orleans Saints are going to the Super Bowl. What a day for every Saints fan. 15 years ago today. One of those you will forever remember where you were. I know I've told this story before, but that was the year Erica and I started dating. And I had, so my grandparents, both of my mom and my dad's side, had season tickets forever. My dad's dad had tickets at on the 45, between the 45 and the 50 behind the Saints bench, like 28 rows up. My mom's parents had seats on the 40 behind the visitors bench, 23 rows up. And I mean, it's amazing. So I got to go to a lot. Yeah. I got to go to a lot of Saints games and great seats as a kid. Well, obviously, as they both got older, they stopped going. My mom's parents let their tickets go, and my dad's dad, I took over his tickets. And I was young and could afford them. I mean, it was like $5,000 for 2 seats. It was a lot. So I would buy them, and then I would try to sell what I can, go when I could, that sort of thing. Yeah. Just managed to keep the tickets. Eventually, I let them go. But in that season, that's the year Eric and I had started dating. And for Christmas that year, I had planned, one of her best friends lived in San Antonio, and I had planned a trip to go with Erica. I surprised her with a trip for Christmas to go to San Antonio to see her friend. Okay. And so we spent some time. Yeah. We did a trip to San Antonio and stayed with her friends and all that sort of stuff. And I didn't bother to look. Like, as a Saints fan, you're not conceptualizing the Saints are going to be in the NFC Championship game.
No. History says you're okay.
I mean, even like going into that year, remember, they were like back-to-back 8 and 8, 7 and 9 in 07, 08. They had the great first year under Peyton where they went 10 and 6, went to the NFC Championship game, but then back-to-back really disappointing seasons. So going into 09, like, we weren't thinking this team was going to the Super Bowl. And so I booked this trip, and then lo and behold, of course, they make it. And but I booked the trip to San Antonio. So we went to San Antonio. So I watched that game with William and Aaron Spalton at their home in San Antonio. And we had a very nice glass of wine, and we grilled steaks, and we watched it, and it was euphoric no matter where it would have been. It would have been amazing to have been in the Dome. I was there for pretty much every other big game in the history of the Saints organization, Dome coming, everything. But
that sucks.
I know, man. But it was great. It
wasn't.
It was great. Yes.
It was brutal.
I would, and
folks you don't even know drinking some stupid wine in their house, and then your team winning the Super Bowl.
So what sucks too, though. Like as I think about it, so
you couldn't even wear your Man of God thing.
That wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah, I know, but you probably couldn't even be yourself. Y'all had just started dating. Like,
there's probably a little truth to that. Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry, bro.
Well,
I didn't know that. That sucks for you.
I went to Chicago for the 2006 NFC Championship, so January of 2007, and the Saints lost to the Bears. I was there. Richard and Ryan Condon and I flew up there. Big C! Big C! Great trip. Miserable experience at Soldier Field. So I was there, and then I was in the Dome with Josh Ennis for the NOLA No Call.
That was probably fun.
So
y'all didn't drink any beers.
Bro. So the two conference championship games that I went to were Chicago in the snow, watching the Saints get their heads kicked in, and the NOLA No Call. And I missed 2009, the one, or 2010, but I missed the one they won. So I've been to the two they lost. And I know what you're going to say, Scone, you're the jinx, or the curse, stay away, which no, hell no.
Yep.
Like next time they go, I am there, and I will be there forever, provided they go. I will be there forevermore till I get to watch one.
Bro, you can't go. I mean, seriously, you can't go. Think about that. You need to go to those people's houses in San Antonio.
That's not a bad idea.
Go back to their
I'm coming back, man. You know what? If that's what I got to do, I'm the least superstitious person alive, so I wouldn't even think that would be the case. All right, it's after further review. Hit me with a little music here. Let's go quickly. We're going to do Ask Ryan in less than 10 minutes. So get your questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us. 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Conference Championship Weekend in the National Football League. The Kansas City Chiefs, the standard bearer in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes, a.k.a. Flopper Braun Mahomes. Did you like that?
Yeah.
Taylor Swift's boyfriend and Big Red lead the Kansas City Chiefs against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills and their ginger coach.
It's good.
All right, man.
So
these two teams have split the last 10 meetings, but in the playoffs, it's only Mahomes. The only quarterbacks to beat Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. Tom Brady, Joe Burrow. How about that? Can Josh Allen get it done?
So last week we went in depth, man, and spent a lot of time breaking these games down. The X factor in this game is super obvious for me. For all those that watched last week, it's plain as day.
Yep.
Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
Supporting the Chiefs gives them the edge that they've been looking for. I mean, you've got a pretty good quarterback. You got a bunch of guys that know how to win and a pretty good coach. You get Tay-Tay up there.
Yeah.
Gives the boys a little motivation to just shake it off.
Yep.
But now, you got the greatest female athlete on the planet pulling for your squad. I got to go with the Chiefs here.
Muse.
I'm taking the Buffalo Bills in this game. I think they're the more balanced team, top to bottom.
Paulie.
I'm going with Musso. I'm going with the Bills. I think they are actually the more complete team this year. Josh Allen has proven he can beat Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Not in the playoffs.
I don't feel comfortable, but I'm going with the Bills.
That's just a dumb decision by both of you. It's just dumb. Everyone wants to poo-poo the Chiefs. Yet they're sitting there at 15-2. And the only reason they're 15-2 and not 16-1 is because they completely tanked the last game to rest everybody against Denver to keep Burrow out of the playoffs. They're undefeated at home. They don't lose in the playoffs. If you pick against, what does Phil Steele always say? You ride a streak until it's broken because you'll win many times. You'll only lose once.
Yeah.
If you pick against Kansas City in the playoffs, it's just stupid. Just stupid.
It's not smart.
I mean, yeah, of course you pick the Chiefs. It's chalk, but you pick the Chiefs. They're at home. They've got the best player in the world, and nobody's figured out how to beat them. And until someone does, I'm not picking them to lose.
The Philadelphia Eagles and their mayor who can't spell Eagles. At Lincoln Financial Field, welcoming the great young wunderkind Jaden Daniels, a.k.a. JD5. The Washington Commanders and their coach who wears his hat backwards but is decidedly not cool, heading to Philadelphia against a man with many vowels in his last name, who cries crocodile tears at the national anthem in the Super Bowl. Commanders, Eagles, for a spot in Super Bowl 59.
What do you got?
The Eagles should win this game. At home, crazy fans, best running back in the game, mobile quarterback that can do all kind of fun stuff. You got two wide receivers on the offense that can go win a ball game for you by themselves. But Jaden Daniels is going to pull this one off, man. He's going to the Super Bowl. He's winning this game and going to the Super Bowl.
Muse.
Jalen Hurts' knee is obviously interesting. I don't think he'll be 100%, but he is practicing fully. You know he's going to give it a go. If the Washington Commanders do not turn the football over, they're going to win this football game. The problem is the team that has actually had success turning them over this season has been the Philadelphia Eagles. I will take the Eagles.
Paulie.
I want the Commanders to win this game, but I don't think they're stopping Saquon Barkley.
No.
I'm going with the Eagles.
You might be right.
Yeah, the game that Washington won against Philly earlier this year, Washington turned the ball over twice, and Washington still won the game. But that was a game where Jalen Hurts got hurt, and they beat Kenny Pickett. So this is easy. It's in Philadelphia. The funny thing is Washington traded for Marshawn Lattimore for games like this. But I think the first or the second game Lattimore played was when they played the Eagles, and A.J. Brown had like 11. He just torched him. So, yeah, I mean, I love Jaden Daniels. I am not betting this game. I am only going to watch this game and root like hell for Washington and for Jaden Daniels to win it because I loathe the Philadelphia Eagles. It's funny the things that are bred deep inside of you from a young age. Watching Randall Cunningham and the Eagles come back to beat the Saints in the playoffs as a kid, I'll never forget it. I watched the end of the game and then had to go to Most Blessed Sacrament for basketball practice. It was miserable. Like, I have hated the Philadelphia Eagles since that day. So I hate, like it's the line from The Big Lebowski. I've had a long day and I hate the effing Eagles. That's how, I'm so late. We got to go. We're going to run out of time. Yeah, I hate the Eagles. Go Commanders. But if I had to pick, I'm picking the Eagles to win it so far.
After further review.
Brought to you by the Renaissance and the Watermark. Two amazing hotel properties. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Hey, you got an event coming up. The Renaissance Hotel. Call Allison Crump over at the Renaissance. She's the events manager. They got 13,000 square feet of meeting space. A couple years ago, Louisiana Association of Broadcasters, we had our Prestige Award banquet at the Renaissance Hotel. A couple years back, the Diocese of Baton Rouge had the Catholic Schools Week Distinguished Graduate Banquet at the Renaissance Hotel. It doesn't matter if it's an award banquet, if it's a fundraiser. Key Academy several years back, I remember, had their fundraiser over at the Renaissance Hotel. They've got meeting space for as small as a dozen all the way up to as many as 500, a wedding reception. They can host it for you. Any type of event. Make it the Renaissance Hotel. Sprawling, beautiful property, of course, Tallulah, right there inside the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Let's get to Ask Ryan to wrap up the show. We got
out at LSU tomorrow, and then
okay, track meet?
I don't know. Those generally last all day, so I don't know what Sunday has in store.
Macy and Georgie, look at them. They're doing so good, man.
Yeah, run hard, and turn left.
Well, why do they go left and not right? Like, why don't you go the other way?
That's what they do.
4x4?
I don't know what they're going to run this weekend.
Just get out there and run fast. Yeah. See you Monday.
After Further Review.
Get on down the road. Reminds you about Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. You know, I was talking to Brandon last week, and, you know, one of the things he told me is like, I always remind people that the difference between Relief Windows and any other company is when you call Relief Windows or you hire Relief Windows to install your windows, you're doing this one time. It's not like other companies where if you call them, you might pay 10% less, whatever the number is. But then what happens in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years when you get moisture in that window or that window leaks or someone breaks the glass? Like, what happens? Well, guess what? Now you're buying new windows. With Relief Windows, you do it once. It is a true lifetime transferable warranty. You're buying windows one time from the best people with the best windows and the best service and a true lifetime transferable warranty. You're doing it one time. You get what you pay for. It's Relief Windows. Online, reliefwindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks